feel like the rap girlies don't know what they want to do. I feel like they serve two masters. Why is that women are so eager to fall out with each other? So much so we can't even apply those same conflict resolution skills that we claim to have with men to our relationships with women. Disclaimers: all views discussed on this channel is a matter of opinion. I do not claim to be a licensed therapist or psychologist, though I am in my internship for my specialist degree in school psychology. I will continue my studies in sociology, and because of my passion for the field, over the years I have read on books, scholarly journals, and other publications on social issues and the like. Therefore, many of my opinions can be backed with reputable sources that led to my conclusions in the matter. That being said, I understand that social issues are touchy and polarizing. I understand that criticism of a group you belong to socially or your favorite social figures can make you uncomfortable or feel like an attack. It is my intention to inform, not offend, but the truth can be offensive. If you happen to belong to a certain group I am analyzing, but you do not exhibit the behaviors I mentioned, then the assessment does not include you. Therefore, there is no need to insert yourself. If you are to include yourself, please be kind. Refrain from using ad hominem, look it up, stating obvious and redundant, not all of us statement, or disagreeing without data that can disprove my opinion. Remember, less feelings, more facts. What's good, y'all? It is Jay here, your accountability coach and future psychologist. And it is my life's purpose to get Black people to mentally unplug from this patriarchal system of white supremacy. Child, today we finna talk about the rap girlies, right? We finna get into the drama, the pathology, the culture, the mindset, all of the things that we love to talk about on this channel. And I want to discuss, like I said, this underlying problem that I'm seeing with the rap girlies. And I want to start with disclaimers, okay? I love rap. Okay, I am a millennial through and through. I am from Atlanta. Some of us will deem Atlanta the second real home of hip hop. Okay, no disrespect to the New York folks. I know that's where it originated. But Atlanta took rap and transformed it, put it on top of his head. Like Andre 3000 said, the South got something to say. And since then, we've been running shit for real. Now, a lot of people will dispute that, but whatever. If we look at collectively how many rappers are from Atlanta or claim Atlanta at least, it's a lot, okay? That made it, that went mainstream, that plays on the radio. So that being said, I love rap. This is not a disrespect to rap. This is not saying that I don't love rap. This is me dissecting things, right? And when you dissect something, it doesn't matter if you love it or not. You are literally analyzing it, being critical of the ways in which it could be better or the ways in which it negatively affects us. This is all I do on this channel. It's no disrespect. I love everything and everybody. I swear, I live my life with unconditional love for things because I love being here. I love existing. I've tapped into this whole new found appreciation for this world and what comes with it, the good, the bad, and the ugly. But that being said, I am not here to tell y'all not to listen to rap. I am not here to talk down on the rap girlies or what they talk about because you'll hear me reciting rap lyrics at any given time. But that does not mean that it's not a cultural problem within rap in general. But today we're going to talk about the rap girlies because of what they represent as far as Black culture. I always have this question, and it's always this overall question in the zeitgeist, in the social climate and atmosphere. When it comes to the female rap, is it sexual liberty, the sexual liberation, or is it a response to male promiscuity? What do you think about female rap? When it first came out, it wasn't really like, the girls were talking about sex and stuff. It wasn't that. Women were really talking about female liberation and how men really try us. UNITY by Queen Latifah is really a good example. Who you calling a bitch? All of this stuff. It's like at that point, the MC lights of it all and stuff, it was really about your skill for talking about what you're going through and the storytelling and a lot of it was female empowerment because we knew that men were pieces of shit even back then. So that's why it was, hey, female empowerment, right? That was the first leg of females in hip hop. Then you get into Lil Kim and Foxy Brown came around early 90s. I love these women again, but it opened up a new wave of how women can candidly discuss sex and be sexual beings. And yeah, you're gonna get some pushback, but Lil Kim didn't get nearly as much pushback as Megan the Stallion does, which is odd, right? At least that's from my perspective. I could be wrong. I'm not saying she didn't experience any pushback at all. I'm just saying that the level in which she experienced pushback doesn't seem to be as bad as it was with Meg as it is with Megan the Stallion. But we're gonna get into that later on. But when we get into and start talking about some of the lyrics that were said back then that were really progressive in our viewpoint, where it pushed female rap into this whole new lane of, hey, the men are talking about sex, why we can't? And that poses the other end of the question. So are we talking about sex because the men are talking about sex, or are we talking about sex because we really want to express our sexual selves? The answer lies in between, right? There's some instances where I think it's because, hey, we just talking about this because it's good for rap. This is the culture of rap. Men been talking about it, so we just joining in to join the culture, right? If you can't beat them, you join them. Or and some of it is, hey, we really just like sex. I really just like it, and I want to talk about it. So who gonna check me? And I feel like with Lil Kim, it was really she really just like sex. Who gonna check her? Versus someone like Lotto, who I think she talks about sex just in a response to the heightened exposure to male promiscuity, especially by means of rap. We're gonna talk about Lotto too. But I'm just prefacing. With that in mind, we have to be careful. And I'm gonna say this again, a part of the disclaimer just about myself, so that people won't understand who I am, and then I'm not coming from a judgmental place. Cause your girl had lived. Okay, I used to do OF. If we're talking about sexual liberation, I'm not gonna talk down on girlies. I will say this candidly. I have not had sex in 2.5 years. I went from someone who did S work to someone who don't even have sex. I went from somebody who I don't think I was really like super promiscuous, but compared to what society would want me to be like, I would be considered promiscuous. So I went from that to I don't have sex at all. I'm not rude. I never was rude by it, but now I'm really not rude by it, right? But that being said, I can't come from a hypocritical space because I definitely was one of those people who bought into sexual liberation. And I'm not saying buy into it like it's fake. I'm saying that it was a part of who I was, and I still am sexually liberated. Oh, don't get twisted. Your girl loves sex, and I will candidly tell you that. That being said, I'm not talking down on these girls. Okay, I did OL for about 2 years, and I made over $300,000 in those 2 years. I'm really proud of myself, to be exact. And in one of those years, I made most of that money, so I'm really proud of myself in that aspect. So it's not about that, but it is about what we all collectively think about sex and how we have these two extremes when it comes to how we view sex. And there's kind of like not enough people in the middle, where I feel like I'm a little bit in the middle. I'm in the middle where I understand people who want to be modest and preserve their sexual energy. I do ponder upon the intent behind it, right? But not the desire to do that. Because right now I am preserving my sexual energy. And I see the other side of people who for that, I want to have sex. I want to get a nut. I get that. Because I have lived both those extremes. Now that I have, I'm somewhere in the middle where I'm like, okay, I support if you want to do that, but understand what comes with promiscuity. There are a lot of studies out here that tell you that being sexually promiscuous, no matter the gender, because men always want to make it seem like it don't affect them. Promiscuity does affect you emotionally, behaviorally. When you are sexually promiscuous, it can turn something off or on in you emotionally that will have you dysregulated, and you'll be out here doing things emotionally, impulsively, or whatever the case. I'm not going to go into all the behaviors right now. Just to keep it on the surface level, you can start doing things that are not good because you are someone who just keep on fucking. I mean, it's just that simple. We have to be careful with what we are ingesting and what we believe, because if you're not somewhere in the middle and you decide to go to the extreme of I'm modest, I don't do all of that sex stuff, you got to be careful to not project that onto the people who are sexually liberated and make it seem as if they are wrong, and vice versa. Because somebody decides, hey, I want to go and explore sexually, doesn't make them a bad person. And because you decide that you want to reserve your sexual energy, it doesn't make you boring. It doesn't make you better. either, right? It doesn't make you better. It doesn't make you pure, despite what the world tells us. Sexual purity is a myth. It's a falsity because God created us to have sex. People, how else we all gonna get here? And y'all gotta stop looking at it as this taboo on the one end, and you also have to start looking at it as something just to do on the other end. Yeah, we're gonna get into the next part of this topic, and that is this girl phenomenon. I feel like this girl phenomenon started, just a few years ago. Oh, are you a girl? What do you do to protect womanhood, women empowerment, blah 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 blah. And the only reason I'm saying it in a mocking tone is because I see people.
Tell you a secret now. I see dead people
very well right now in this part of my life. I see how women act and interact with each other. I see how men interact and with each other and with us. And I overall have came to the consensus that nobody likes women. Women don't like women and men don't like women. And because of that, I always roll my eyes at both groups, men and women, simply because nobody is being accountable and nobody sees the overall problem. Or if they see it, they're just not doing enough to fix it. So that being said, my definition of girl is varied from the typical definition. Because I say I have in another video that I made and posted, previous video, that y'all definition of girls is just related to how we interact with your man. Not this whole, hey, support your sister, don't talk about her behind her back, don't analyze her and do all of this catty and petty behavior. Y'all feed into it. Y'all not, of course, not all. Here we go. Y'all feed into it. And I see it often, almost everywhere I go, because I'm the type of woman that I am where I don't really get into all the mess. I'm not a gossiper. I don't have to talk to you all the time. I like to really mind my business a lot. That don't mean I don't gossip. That don't mean I won't get into the tea because I'm nosy. I like to know shit. But I also like to mind my business at the same time. So that being said, people think that I'm standoffish, and women will go with this narrative that I think I'm all that, or they'll just start making rumors about me because the guys at work might like me. Yeah, I've experienced that twice, where people have accused me of having some outside activities with some males that I work with. Now, on one occasion, that was true. On the other occasion, it was just like, no, that's not what happened. But okay. That being said, when it comes to this girls, when it comes to this girls phenomenon, especially how it seems to have penetrated the rap female girlies community, if so many of y'all are girls or keep on talking about this girls, why is there so much beef? Why is there so much beef between the ladies? Now, of course, there's rap beef with the men. Let's not, because a lot of people try to make it seem like it's so heightened on one end and not on the other. It's just more interesting when the rap girls beef. Let me be clear, because we know Kendrick and Drake was one of the biggest rap beefs. We know the Biggie and Tupac, Jay-Z and Nas. We know that. But this rap beef with Nicki and Cardi, the rap beef that started with Nicki and Lil Kim, it has transcended time, and it is also something that we all continuously talk about, no matter if it's been 10 years plus or not. That being said, a lot of people find more interest still and talk more about, in my opinion, the female girls rap beef. Maybe because it's kind of still ongoing, but also because it's just more interesting. We got to talk about one of the first rap beefs that I ever heard of was Lil Kim and Foxy Brown. Now, I don't know all the details about this, and I don't care enough to go dig them up. But from what I remember, it was really petty, and it was more like some industry stuff, people pitting them against each other, because it kind of worked, and it's like only one female can really be in the lane at a time, and that's really what's a big problem when it comes to the rap community, when it comes to female rap, is why is it that we feel like it can only be one at a time? Now we moved on from that, but back then it really felt like that was just this prevalent through line where, hey, we only have one female at a label. You had the Rough Riders only had Eve. You got Junior Mafia only had Lil Kim. You had, Rock Nation with Million, and then, so on and so forth. So it's always weird. I'm glad we transcended that. But there's still kind of like a mindset with that thing that some people are uncomfortable with releasing Nicki Minaj. And now there are spaces for other rap girlies to thrive. So that being said, the same thing seemed to have happened with Nicki. Here we go. Common theme. Nicki number one. Here comes Nicki number two. Nicki and Lil Kim. Lil Kim was never a hater. Now y'all naysayers know Lil Kim was never the hater.
Nicki's my homie, but this is where my issue with Kim stemmed from. Like, Kim's the OG. And it seemed when you was coming at Nikki, you was, just being bitter and
But
disgruntled.
you're wrong.
You seemed like the old, you remember Players
But
Club,
you're
the
wrong.
tricky chick?
Let me tell you why you're wrong. And let me tell you why you did wrong. Because it's deeper than that. Me and Slim were friends for 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
And we decided that we were going to go into business together. Right? And I was over there at Cash Money. I was getting ready to be partners with them. While I was over there, we were working a lot. Like, I was in Miami and he put me in the studio. I would be in New York and we would be working. We were constantly talking. Baby said to me, hey, I want you to be on my album, whatever. And, he sent this song over. It was empty.
Mm-hmm.
And it just had a hook on it. And so I sent it back to him quick. They had the record for a while. And, me and Slim were talking. We were talking, constantly talking. And so I said to Slim, when I went back to Miami, I said, because I'm not stupid. I said, listen, we're about to be like the mafia family. It's like, I'm the Gambinos, you have like the family inside of the family. I would be the Gambinos, they would be whatever, but we're all going to be family. So go ahead, put whoever you want on the record. Because I already knew.
Right.
I already knew. But I said, this record got to be big because it would be good for music right now. Good for females, good for hip hop. When I saw Baby, he's like, oh, baby girl, we're going to make it big. We're going to do a video. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're going to make it big. Everybody's going to know. They put the record out. I guess they didn't like the response. And when they saw the response, they just pulled the record off, pulled it back. Never put it on his album. Nothing. Then it's like I'm not even hearing from them. And it's like, wow. You know what I mean? And if you listen to that song, the way I did my vocals, hers were different from how I did my vocals at that time. Shortly after that, she started releasing all these records, doing her vocals the way I did my vocals. Now, okay, whatever. You know what I mean? But you have to look back. My fans may not like when I do a certain type of music, but that was a sound that I was getting ready to start. And I was starting a sound a long time ago. And if he tell you that this is not true, he's lying. But I played a record for Slim called Automatic. It's a Saint-Tropez dance type of record. It's 3 years ago I played him this record. On her new album, she has a song called Automatic, and the song is so similar to the song that I played for Slim. The whole sound that I brought to the table. Because when Slim was like, what you working on? Let me see, hear where you going with it. She was still doing whatever she was doing when she first came out, the way she was rapping. I brought a whole new sound. Next thing you know, 2-3 years later, now that she's, moving and moving in the game or whatever, this is the whole new sound. Whether my fans would have liked that sound or not, it was my sound. I brought that to the table. The problem with her is she was very catty with it. I never had a problem with her. I was always nice with her. Always. She was a very obnoxious person, but I was always nice with her. From the time I saw her in that dressing room, the story she told, I don't even know what the heck she was talking about. Like, that's not even how it happened. But from the moment that I met her, I was always cool with her. But after that, it almost seems like when they realized, okay, we need Kim, we want to study her swag. That's what it kind of felt like, because I was around for a long time. And they're like, okay, let's study her swag. And, and I think they wanted to get that record just to stamp that I was okay with what was going on. You understand what I'm saying? For me, it was a break back into rotation, into, if that would have been a big video and a big event record, it would have been good for both of us. But I personally think they didn't want me to stand beside her, which is stupid.
It was always Nikki. Nikki was biting off of Kim. She was really lifting her up at one point, and then all of a sudden there was a change because she wanted to be the only rap girlie in the room. See? And that has transcended to a beef that can't be rectified either, which is petty. It's some industry shit. And it's also a mindset with women that have, and I'm finna get in that too, women where you can only be the only female in the room. Now, this Nikki and Remy thing, yet again, Nikki number 3, I don't really understand their beef. I don't be going into the things. And these are things that happened a long time ago. But from my understanding, what was said through the grapevine was that they had relations, if you know what I mean. But who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? All I know is that's a beef that yet again can't be rectified. It was a really good. Say what y'all want. Remy washed Nikki in that rap beef. Now, yeah, Nikki went on to be a little bit more successful. But Remy told her, Nicki probably gonna be in every beef that I'm about to talk about. Because why is she in every beef? Anyway, let's get into this mindset, right? That I was before we get into the next beef that I want to just briefly discuss. I'm just briefly discussing all the beefs so we can understand where I'm about to land the plane. There is also this thing before I land the plane that I want to preface with women where we are very competitive with each other because the patriarchy dictates that. The patriarchy tells us to compete like products on the shelf with each other so that we can be chosen. When really nature says that we are the choosers. And what happens with their mindset is whenever women have to share space with each other, there is typically this need to view each other from this competitive lens of sizing each other up just because. And a lot of times it's this subliminal and subconscious thing where you're sizing me up because you just want to know if men would like me. And if you think that men would like me more than they would like you, you kind of want to take me down a notch. This is a subliminal thing, right? This is a pathology that we don't realize and recognize is within us, but it's due to the patriarchy pitting us against each other from day one. Women had to be bartered and sold off again, like products on the shelf, historically in ancient times. There's so many things that we can go into when it comes to how women have grown to have this complex and contentious relationship with each other. Put a pin in that. Now, let's get into Nicki again. Nicki in this beef with Cardi. Oh, dear God. This is the one that has really trickled down to all the rap girlies. You got these two huge female rappers who have come and really broke down some doors and have introduced us to a certain type of rap in different ways. Nicki is always going to be a skillful rapper. You can hate her, you can love her. You know that Nicki is a good rapper. Period. Whether you like her songs or not does not take away from her skill as a rapper. Whether you like her songs or not does not take away from the fact that she is one of, if not the highest selling female rapper there is. She is GOAT status. I don't really care about Nicki personally, and I can still give her flowers. Now, because she was in that lane by herself for a long time, with very little to no competition, I'm not sure exactly how that worked because I feel like there's some stuff was going on there. Why couldn't nobody else rise to the top while Nicki was there? But anywho, despite that, she still is who she is. However, when Cardi came about, Cardi wasn't really an overnight success, but it just feels like that because something is very endearing about that girl's personality. Now, Nicki and Cardi to me they're not that different from each other. I talk about this. I've been saying this. They really are very similar, and I don't know if it's a New York girl mentality or what, but I don't see too many differences between their behavior. However, regardless of that, Cardi came about and her personality really took her to the top more so than actual talent. That's not to say that Cardi is not talented. Shut your ass up, party gang. She is talented. You can't get to certain levels without some sort of talent. And personality really is a talent because not everybody got a personality. Not everybody have a winning personality. Not everybody can attract people to listen to what they say. It is not easy. Even with me doing this, I'm starting to get views, baby. But I understand that, hey, I gotta put more personality in this thing. Y'all gotta know who the fuck y'all dealing with, right? So yes, I can switch it off. You see how at the beginning of this video, I was really very professional and I can use the terminology and I can talk eloquently and articulate, and then I can also cut your motherfucking ass out. So that being said, though, it's not easy. It's not. And everybody ain't got it. Because if they did have it, they would do it. And even those who do it, and when they do it and they ain't got it, they fail. It is what it is. I don't make the rules. Cardi rise to the top. She makes good music. I like Cardi's music. Honestly, when it comes to preference, I might prefer Cardi's music to Nicki. And I do like Nicki's music regardless. But if I be like, hey, who I want to turn on first, it'll likely be Cardi. Regardless, now their beef about who went where on the song, who said what on the song, and again, petty shit turned into industry shit. And now that it's as big as it is, the rap girlies felt like they had to choose a side. There was a very great divide where you had the Sexy Reds and the Bias and what's that girl name? The Ice Spice. You had them on Nicki's side. Oh, and the other irrelevant characters that I'm not going to name. And then you had the other girls on Cardi's side. Or some of them tried to remain neutral and work with both of them. But that shot them in the foot. Which leads me... I was not trying to be funny. But that leads me to Nicki and Meg and Nicki and Lotto and how they were cool and the relationship deteriorated because it seemed like they chose a side. I'm not here to say if they chose a side or not. It's none of my business. I can't really say. I'm not them. But shows that Nicki was a little delusional too, somewhat. Why is it that them girls couldn't work with both of y'all? Again, Cardi and Nicki are similar, but not the same. Similar and same are not the same. Cardi is not so much as a hating ass bitch as Nicki Minaj is. Nicki made it clear that you can't work with Cardi or she will not deal with you. Cardi did not move that way. She did not care if you work with Nicki Minaj, girl. It's hey, how we work together. And I can always respect Cardi for that aspect. Same token, they had to choose sides. And once you made that decision, all I saw was the Nicki minions consistently trying to attack Cardi, which was weird because it was like, oh, y'all really some lapdogs. And then you see Cardi friends, people who seem to chose Cardi side, really just minding their business and kind of rising to the top, to be honest. It's kind of interesting to watch. Because the girls who was on Nicki's side, they not really doing as well right now in this season. But the girls who chose Cardi's side, or like I said, visually did, they're doing a little bit better. Interesting, right? Like I said, we get into the Nicki and the Lotto. You get into the Nicki and the Meg. Yet another big beef that trickled down was the Nicki and the Meg. That girl, Megan Thee Stallion, said in 2020, was that 2024? 2024, these hoes don't be scared of Megan. They be scared of Megan's Law. And everybody went crazy. The internet exploded. So did Nicki Minaj. We know that Meg won that, okay? She won that. She didn't even have to really just respond. She just said something, got everybody panties in the bunch. Really, she made her first attack towards Drake before anybody did. Why everybody's giving Kendrick Lamar his flowers, and no disrespect to him because I like him too as an artist. But Megan started this shit. So once all of that happened, and she had her first #1 record, here come Nicki and her bullshit, and from there everything started to really collapse with the rap girlies. You had, like I said, this divide, and then we get into the Lotto and the Ice Spice. Ice Spice taking a shot at Lotto because she seemed to have chosen the Cardi side. And now, not even talk about it because that was really irrelevant to me. But now we get into this Megan and Glow. Meg Thee Stallion and Glorilla alleged beef. We don't know if there's really a beef. We can't even tell if it is a beef, where exactly the beef would have started, because they did 2, maybe 3 songs together, and they seem to have good synastry and chemistry and all of that stuff. But now we're like, is there beef? Because there's some funny behavior going on behind the scenes. And, it's weird because we don't know where it started from. We can't really pinpoint. We know that we think that it began because Glorilla allegedly accidentally, shared a post on her Instagram with Tory Lanez' song attached to it, which she very well could have. She very well could have not listened to the song, because a lot of times I be scrolling Instagram on mute until I find something interesting and I unmute it. But who knows, right? But that rubbed everybody, including Megan Thee Stallion, the wrong way, so much so that she unfollowed her. Now let's get into this, because this is also I'm gonna get into the Cardi and Lotto beef and how there's some similarities here. Why is that women are so eager to fall out with each other? So much so, and we can't even apply those same conflict resolution skills that we claim to have with men to our relationships with women. When this situation happened between Megan and Glorilla, why is it that nobody had a real conversation about what happened? Why does it seem as though somebody could have talked on the phone and it could have been a quick resolution? Instead, the internet kind of got into bullshit, so much so that Glorilla felt like she had to make a response and say that it was an accident. Now, you can believe it or not, but that's what the girl said. Then we trickling down. Now there's even more beef where we are accusing Glorilla of biting Megan Thee Stallion. Typically just saying that she stole her whole flow. Well, not her flow, like rap flow, but like her whole energy or whatever. What she wear and all of this and that and whatever. And it's just like, y'all, why y'all doing this? And again, it feels as though the public is pitting these 2 women against each other more so than anything. Now, again, it might be some underlying stuff. Who knows? At this point, it just seems like it kind of got a little explosive, behind the scenes explosive, because we don't know nothing. But whatever it is, it does seem like there might be some weird energy now. And I don't like that. I think that's fucked up. Same thing going now back to Cardi and Lotto. This is the most recent fiasco. Both of them, I feel like, are wrong in different ways and varying degrees. Cardi knows that she should not have said that about that girl. Now, if we friends, and you ain't talked to me about how you felt about something I did, but you got enough gumption to say this to everybody else and to say it in the heat of a moment with somebody who could have did what they did, right? Not in a trusted group of people. What the fuck did you think was gonna happen? We can't be impulsive like that. You know, I get it, you be in the heat of the moment, but we gotta learn how to snap and be like, oh, I gotta reel it back a little bit. You know, you gotta be able to self check. Now we have our moments. So I'm gonna give Cardi her moment because the only reason I'm gonna give Cardi her moment is because it does seem like on both sides, what Lotto said and what we see in the public, that Cardi did attempt to make amends with Lotto. Lotto just didn't, she wasn't having it. On one end, I get that because you called me a pussy and we friends and you didn't tell me you thought I was pussy to my face. Or even if you didn't say explicitly pussy, you didn't tell me, hey, I don't like how you handled that situation, girl. I feel like you could have, been less forgiving. Why you so forgiving to this girl? You know what I'm saying? If you would have told me that and then I heard you call me pussy in the background of somewhere else talking to somebody else, I might have a little bit more leniency and grace because at least you kind of told me to my face that you felt like I was being a bit of a pushover. But because you didn't tell me to my face, I have to hear it with the rest of the world. I'm offended. And in my offense, I don't really want to hear what you got to say right now. Because I'm kind of like that too. Like when I get mad at people, I need some time to figure out if the anger is warranted, and if it is warranted, what I want to do about it. I don't just go through my emotions and be like, yeah, let me talk to this bitch. Because I might say some crazy shit to you. And we gonna be arguing, all that. So I take a step back. So I feel like Lotto has a right to her response. But again, Cardi did her part. She apologized. I'm on no one side. I'm just objectively looking at this as a coach, as a future psychologist. Cardi said something wrong. She apologized to Lotto. Lotto ultimately did not accept her apology. Now, again, this goes back to what I said prior. Would you have that same energy if your man apologized to you for saying something to you in a heat of moment that you did not like? If as a woman you have that energy of being forgiving to your man, why is it you can't extend that same grace to someone that you consider a friend? Am I being unreasonable for asking that? No, I'm not. So that's my issue with this whole thing. Cardi should not have said what she said, but she said you can't take words back. Lotto, you so forgiving of this married man. Even in your music, if anything that you saying is true, it seems like y'all went through some things, right? That you don't like, but you been forgiving. You trying it again, trying it again. Yeah, all right. Did anybody listen to the album? She trying it again. So okay, whatever. But that leads me into the last point, the hypocrisy of it all. Like I feel like the rap girlies don't know what they want to do. I feel like they serve two masters. Not all of them, of course. I feel like I'm always saying not all because people are so slow. But but the ones who I'm going to talk about, which is a big majority of the people that I already talked about, Nicki Minaj is such a hypocrite. And I'm gonna start them off with everybody. Nicki Minaj is such a hypocrite. How did you come up with a song called Looking Ass Nigga and you married a looking ass nigga? I already said this in my content, but I'm gonna keep saying it because it's weird. Every man she described in that song, her husband fit the description. One bottle in the club ass niggas. One bottle above in the club ass niggas. You think Kenneth Petty don't be in the club or haven't been in the club and one bottle split between 15 niggas?
It's all fun and games till we want to play too.
We outside. Somebody tell Offset.
Hell yeah, that's him. He gives that vibe. What was he doing before Nicki dug him out the trash to marry him? He was a nobody in the streets. She uplifted him, uplifted him, and she warned women about that. But yet you went and you did it. I will never respect Nicki because of that. Never. And not only it's different, it's one thing that you just got you a gutter hood rat ass nigga. You went and married somebody who was convicted of pulling on a girl and R-wording her. What world where you can be okay with that? In Nicki's mind, and if we look at the patterns of Nicki's behavior, she got an ex-offender brother, ex-offender husband. Who knows what her daddy was up to, because there's been rumors about that. You come from a background of these type of men, so no wonder you coddle and you want them around you and you want to protect them from the bad women. Nicki, just like Cardi, has so much smoke for women versus the men in their lives. So much smoke. It's not saying they don't have smoke at all for men. Of course, again, y'all got to understand, stop being so extreme when people say these things. It's just the level in which they attack women is different from the level in which they attack men. You can see it all the time. Yeah, in the music, they might roast and talk about how niggas ain't shit and they ain't got this and that and their third. But in action, in everyday life, in their personal life, when they turn off that rap girl persona, y'all are pygmies.
I'm in Atlanta for the night. I was missing my baby so much, so I had to come through.
Y'all allow these men to be bad to you or be bad in general, and you make excuses or you coddle them instead of holding them accountable. Or when you do hold them accountable, it's too late. You done created a monster at this point. That is who these women are. Cardi, like I said, Cardi and Nicki. Sorry to the barbs and the Barty gang. Your rap reelers ain't that. Cardi, you went from one man who was a piece of shit to another man who was a piece of shit. The problem is you again won't hold them accountable. You get that these men are pieces of shit, but again, going back to a lot of what I said in my content, just go check out a lot of my old videos. You still hold on to this pick me ass standard that, hey, if he loves me enough, he'll change. If he values me enough, he will change. If I'm good enough, he will change. He won't. Neither of them will. The first husband did not, and your baby daddy ain't. He's a piece of shit. And if he ain't, then why is all of this trail of court cases following behind him? Why is he online posting like a sassy ass bitch that want his money whenever you give me my money now, head ass? Like that's what you wanted. And then you accuse JT of having a gay nigga. Girl, be careful. Be careful. Because look at what you got. Not enough to be bragging about. Not anymore, we see. He's embarrassing you. You ain't embarrassed again by Offset 2.0. Period. Actually, like I said, Offset 2.0, a worse version of Offset. Because he's sneaky. He's a sly motherfucker. See, Offset, if you only after a while, Offset, it don't take long for Offset mask to lift. With Stefan, it takes a while for his mask to lift because he's unassuming. He has this aura about him that's very mysterious, and you try to understand him, and then once you do kind of get under the layers, you like, oh, it's shitty. A piece of shit. She did not go from one bad situation to a better. She went from one bad situation to another bad situation, and arguably it could be a worse situation. That being said, the music ain't computing that. The music don't tell me that you the type of woman who would tolerate this again and again and again. But yet you are the woman who tolerates this again and again. And instead of holding the men accountable, what do? You attack the women. Cardi literally sent a girl to attack Offset, one of Offset side bitches. Cardi literally with this and all the other Stefan baby mamas in his harem has been collectively kind of sowing seeds of chaos, confusion, and doubt. You know, you going after the girls instead of realizing that you just with a piece of shit, girl. He ain't finna change for you. And it's not a reflection of who you are. It's a reflection of who he is. So women need to get that in their mind overall. If a man won't change for you, it's not you, it's him. Now change yourself by not trying to change them. Let's keep going. Megan is not as much of a hypocrite as these other girls that I'm talking about. Like I said, we're going to end on Lotto. But I felt like when she got with Clay, that my man, my baby, I like that song. Don't get me wrong. But as soon as it released, I said, oh, we done lost her. I said, we lost her. My girl said, why you fucking people, nigga, need to find your own man, bitch. But you were accused of having sex with the same man that your best friend did. And your other songs clearly don't depict this message. Yeah. And again, I'm not here to be a hater. I'm not here to tell you don't love your man. Because when I love my man, I love my man. That's why I like that song. Because I'm like, Lord, I know that feeling. It's been a long time. Do you want me to feel that again? But I knew that we lost her because it's like, oh, you done made a song. You in it. And I hope he's treating you as well as we see. Come to find out he's not. It's this image that we always want to uphold that the man that we have has changed. He's improved. He's good. He's treating us well. He can be a piece of shit, but as long as he's treating us well. Because honestly, if you look at Clay's Carfax, he collectively have left women in the dust because he can't commit. He's a cheater. He's a womanizer. You just look at the past. But Meg decided I won't ignore all of that. He's a piece of shit, but he's treating me well. You get what I'm saying? I talk about this in my book. Here's a quick plug. Thorn to the Eye. Link in the description. I talk about everything on my channel I talk about in my book. But yeah, it's always like, you really believed that, yet again, this same boo game that a lot of women fall for, your coochie, your personality, who you are changed him. You were able to get him to commit. So much so that you felt vulnerable enough to make a whole song about this man. And it's crazy because now you can't think about this art that you created without associating it to him. The world gonna want to hear that song. They're gonna want to hear you perform that song, and you're gonna be like, no. Or if you do, you might have a salty taste in your mouth some of the time if you heal enough. But healing is not linear. Sometimes you might be like, I can't perform today this song because I'm irritated with my new nigga. He reminded me of this nigga, so now I can't perform this song. You get what I'm saying? It's just a lot of different things. But again, Meg is not as bad as the rest of these girls, so we still got hope for Meg. I think she kind of maybe understands now that you can't be so giving and forgiving, and you can't be so open. It's sad as women we can't be as open as we want to be, but you can't. You gotta have your antennas up because men are very overall, not all, but overall they're really shiesty. They are. Sorry, it's the way the culture created. Now, last girl, Lotto. I'm finna dig my teeth a little bit in her. Lotto, come to the front. You might not ever see this, but I want you to come to the front. I want the Lotto gang, whoever y'all is, come to the front. Let's hold our good sis, my good niece, however, accountable. I love Lotto's music. When I think about a rap girl who defines me, I say the most, not all, but the most when it just comes to the sound that really I feel like relates to who I am, it's Lotto. I like Glorilla, I like Meg, I like Cardi, I like Nicki. Like I said, I like all the girls. I even like a few Ice Spice, not too many, but I feel like a few Ice Spice and so on and so forth. But when I think about me, I think Lotto. I love Lotto's music. Her last 2 albums slap to me, even this recent album. But this recent album gave me the same feeling I had when I listened to Megan Thee Stallion's one song. We lost her. We lost her. I say about 70 to 80% of the songs on that album, it is a love album. It is not, and it's not a love for becoming a mom. It's a love for the man that she had this baby with. Granted, she can talk about what she wants to in her music. Granted, the baby was not here while she was recording this album. She was just getting ready for the baby to come. So I kind of get that. You know, she's in love because she has this baby, and in her mind, this man gave her this baby, which, I mean, he did, ultimately. But at the same time, you doing all the work, so you giving him this baby. Despite that, when you listen to Lotto's music, it is always about this low-ass body count. She really buys into purity culture, thinking that she's more valuable, that she's better than because she hasn't been passed around, because she hasn't had sex with that many men. And I really, like I said earlier at the top of this video, understanding sex, where I'm at with my life, I hate that. I don't like people who are too sexually promiscuous, just like I don't like when people are too sexually modest. You can't project this type of thing in your music, but then say you are about female empowerment, but you are kind of down talking the women who are sexually liberated because you ultimately feeling like you better than the women who don't care about body counts. I don't give a fuck about no body count. That shit don't exist to me. It don't even matter. Why is it we hold a standard for women but not to men? Double standards never serve us because it's always going to be unbalanced. So because of that, Lotto is perpetuating a standard of I'm good because I don't have sex with all these guys. It's only one man that I busted open for. But ultimately, the man that you busted open for, he's a whore or somewhat of a whore, or he's not. Even if he's not a whore, he's a man. He's okay. He can have all these multiple baby mamas. He can have all these multiple children, but you better not. Problem. It's always a problem here. Unbalanced. So when you're talking about, again, like I said earlier, when she's talking about sex in her lyrics, it is as a response to male promiscuity. It's not because she's really this sexually liberated girl. Even though in one aspect she kind of is because she talks about it. But on the other aspect, it's like, but you down women who don't care about body counts because you feed into the bullshit. You're a bird. You're pick me. I love you, sis. I love you, niece. Whatever. However you want to defend me. I would rather call you sis, but if you want to call me auntie, that's cool too. Earn my stripes. But it's like, sir, you can't serve 2 masters. You just can't. It's hard. It don't work like that. It don't work like that. Now you up here looking like a sister wife, but you telling girls, hey, you need to pick a man with money, but because he got money, he can do whatever he want. Just come out and say, and also you telling girls not to share men. You gonna say that in your rap lyrics. Just come out and say it, that y'all are in a polygamous relationship. Just come out and say it. Y'all get along. Why he won't divorce her then? Why is it so difficult for you to get posted? What is this? You can post him. You can talk about him. He's not giving you the same shine and the same attention and the same love, at least public facing. And this is my problem yet again with women. If your man ain't posting you as much as you post him, there is a problem. Don't do that. Just don't do it. No matter how much you want to, no matter how much you want to show off the girls. I got a man. That all they're trying to impress motherfuckers. Stop it. Don't post that nigga. Unless he posts you and then you just share the post. Simple. That's if y'all decide to follow each other. But regardless, don't do that. Because the public perception that you think that you are giving off, it's not giving that. It's giving, girl, you getting tricked, you getting bamboozled. If this is something that you claim not to want, you don't want to share a man, and you want exclusivity, you want to feel like you are the only woman in this man's world, why are you doing these family-oriented things with a married man who does not seem to be willing to leave the relationship with his wife. We can make up excuses. Oh, it's for the residency. It's for him to live here. Blah 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 blah. It's for the immigration. It's been years. And he obviously had sex with this woman. They got children together. So there was a sexual relationship between them. This ain't no woman that he just married. It was his baby mama. Again, I don't know what kind of relationship y'all got. I don't know what kind of lies he done told both of y'all. That dick must be good. It's good, ain't it, girl? That thing hit, ain't it? Cause no way. No way. So you lost. You lost. Now you and that baby gonna always be okay no matter what. Grateful for that. Good. Happy for you with that. But baby, that man, I don't know, sir. It don't seem like he cared that much about you. It just don't seem like from the outside looking in. I can never ever say that for sure. And if he does, the way y'all are projecting that to the public, it seems one-sided. Fix that. Or should stop posting altogether about it. Stop alluding to who this is. We already knew it was 21. But it's like, oh, Lotto trying to hide this relationship because he married. You talk about him, but you don't talk about him. And the only reason we all knew it was 21 is because of the things that you said, not because of anything that he alluded to. You wanted people to kind of know who it was. You got the man fucking name tattooed on behind your ear, for God's sake. So I'm going to end it on that. You know, we talked about a lot, but we got to understand that the rap girlies, y'all can be problematic. Love y'all. Rap in general is problematic. I know. But I want to talk about the women because I want to hold us accountable too. I feel like a lot of people probably believe that I be on men's neck. I be on the men's neck because y'all are worse than women. That's why. But that don't mean that women don't get their shots. I know some people, especially the party gangs, the lotto gangs, all the gangs probably gonna be mad at me because I'm holding their favorites accountable. Y'all have to stop with these parasocial relationships and understand that your celebrity is still a human. And we all know that humans are flawed. Because people can see their flaws and because they call them out does not mean that we hate them. Most of us, some of us probably do, but it's not me. I separate the art and the artist when it comes to things like this. Now, if you're doing like some real harm to people, I can't really separate it that much. But if you just socially fail for the condition in society, I can't be too mad at you because we all have to grow from that, including me. Most women, if not all of us, have exhibited or continue to exhibit some pick-me behaviors. Just recently, I be having to check myself a lot of the time because it's, again, societal conditioning. So it's hard to break from 100%. But as long as you can know what it is, you can self-check yourself on it and you correct. Give yourself grace. I love everybody. Again, this is Lovelii. If you want to support me in the channel, please check out all the things I offer. I do have some merch. I'm going to come out with some more soon. You're going to be busy, okay? Like I said, future psychologist. She's still in school, but I got this book. This book is a banger, okay? I know I wrote it, so it sounds like, oh, I'm being biased, but you just got to read it. I promise it'll open your mind. And I love everybody again. See y'all on the next one.